I'm 82 years old now, and there's a lot I've carried with me that I need to say before it's too late. Time's running out. I've seen enough to know that the things I thought mattered, they didn't. And the things I thought I could fix tomorrow, they slipped away long ago. I ain't got much left. I'm here now speaking my truth because I need to tell somebody what I've lived through. I want you to know while I'm still here how different things were for folks like me. I was born in 1941 down in Mississippi, where folks like me were expected to keep their heads down, never make a fuss, and just stay out of the way. I didn't get the same chances as others. We didn't have much, but we survived. I learned quick that survival ain't the same thing as living. You put your dreams aside, forget what peace feels like, and start thinking that survival's all you're ever gonna get. Back then, we didn't have time for foolishness. Being black meant you learned to take what was given, even if you knew you deserved better. You learned to put your head down when folks looked at you wrong, and you didn't dare make a fuss. That's how I grew up, under segregation, in a world where you couldn't sit in the front of the bus or eat at certain restaurants. I didn't know what equality was, 'cause I'd never seen it. The world wasn't made for people like me. But I worked. Lord knows I worked. I did what I had to do to make sure my kids had food, had clothes, had a roof over their heads. My mama, God rest her soul, worked harder than most folks just to keep food on the table. And my daddy, well, he was always working too, on the railroads, in the fields, wherever he could find a job. I was raised to work hard, to make do with what you had, to never complain. You didn't have time to feel sorry for yourself. You didn't have time to ask, why me? You just did what you had to do to survive. People used to say the strong black woman, like it was a badge of honor. But it ain't feel like no honor when you were so tired you couldn't remember the last time you just sat still. I spent so many years working in factories, kitchens, laundromats, menial jobs, low wages, always hustling. But I thought if I worked hard enough, it would all pay off. I thought I was building something better for my kids, for the next generation. But you learn quick that survival ain't the same thing as living. When you're always focused on making it through the day, you forget about the simple joys, the things that make life worth living. My children grew up without me. I missed out on their childhood, their school plays, their first steps, the moments that should have mattered, all because I was too busy trying to survive. I remember the Great Migration like it was yesterday. They said we'd be free when we moved north. We packed up everything and left Mississippi, thinking Chicago would give us what we deserved, a chance to breathe, a chance to thrive. But it wasn't that simple. We moved to Chicago, and what we found wasn't gold. It was just another fight. Work was scarce. We ended up in the same struggle, just in a different place. We were still just trying to survive. They promised us freedom in the north, but what we got wasn't much different than what we left behind. We had to fight for our place there, too. I worked menial jobs, low wages, all the while watching my children grow up, and I didn't even have time to enjoy them. I worked in factories, kitchens, wherever I could get. I thought I was doing it for them, for their future, but I was missing out on their childhood. My kids grew up without me, and I didn't even realize how much I was losing until it was too late. I was always busy trying to get ahead. But here's the thing. Working all the time ain't going to give you what you need. It won't bring back the moments you lost. I spent so many years missing out on my own children's lives, thinking I was doing it for them. But what I was really doing was letting the years slip through my fingers. By the time the civil rights movement started pushing for change, I was already deep in survival mode. I didn't have the energy to fight for things I should have fought for earlier. I was too busy fighting just to live. I watched the young folks demand what we couldn't. They wanted freedom. They wanted equality. And while they got it, finally, they got it too late for folks like me. By the time the laws changed, I was too tired to enjoy the fruits of that labor. My generation fought hard, but we were too worn out by the time we got a taste of what we deserved. Don't wait for the world to change before you start changing your life. I waited too long for things to be different when I could have been changing the way I lived and the way I saw myself all along. Ain't no one coming to save you. You have to take that first step yourself. You can't wait for some miracle, some law to pass. If you wait too long, you miss out on the life you could have built for yourself. I know that now, even though I didn't know it back then. I see these young folks today, and I wonder if they know how lucky they are. They got freedoms we never had. They don't even know what it was like to have to keep your head down just to get by. They don't know what it's like to be told no because of the color of your skin. But maybe they're better off that way. Maybe they'll have a life where they don't have to carry the same burdens. But I don't know if they'll ever understand what we gave up for them to have that freedom. Now I'm old, I've seen so much, and I don't have many years left. My friends, they're gone. My mama, she's gone. My daddy, gone. And now I sit here by myself most days, watching the next generation come up, free in ways we never could be. They don't even know how lucky they are. I can't get back the time I lost, can't fix the relationships that fell apart, can't undo the things I did for survival. But I can tell you this, don't waste time. Don't waste your time on things that won't matter when you're looking back. Family, love, peace, joy, those things matter. Everything else is just noise. I didn't know that then, but I know it now. If I'd known what I know now, I would have done things different. I would have spent more time with my children, let go of the things that didn't matter, and fought harder for what I deserved. I spent so much time hiding my pain, thinking I had to be strong all the time. I was always the one that folks leaned on, but who was there for me? Nobody. You learn that when you're older. People come and go, but what you got left is the life you made for yourself. And that's the hardest part of it all, realizing that when you've been strong for so long, you forget who you are. By the time I got to my 70s, I'd seen it all. I buried people I never thought I'd have to. The love of my life, my mama, my daddy, and my friends. Now I'm here alone, mostly. My kids visit, but they got their own lives. You realize when you're old that you've outlived so much, and the time you've got left is precious. You see, the truth is that all that sacrifice, all that work, it wasn't for nothing, but it was for more than just survival. I can't get back the time I lost, but what I can do now is share what I've learned with you. I hope someone hears this, takes it to heart. Don't wait until you're old like me to figure it out. Time don't wait for nobody. It keeps moving forward. It don't care if you're ready or not, and when it's gone forever. So live it right. Live it for yourself. And if you're carrying something heavy, maybe it's time to let it go.